everyone. It's Michelle from Those Who Travel Meet Themselves. Today in studio from the other side of the pond, we have Nontuthuko. I got that right? Because the last time I was wrapped on the knuckles by another friend for not getting her surname right.
Hi, Michelle.
How are you? Are you good?
I'm very well, thank you. I'm very well.
COVID-19 treating you fine so far? You look good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Nontuthuko, if you could please just introduce yourself to us. I know you, but there's a lot of people out there who don't know who you are. So if you could just share with us who you are, where you're based, what you do, and what your passions are.
Thanks. My name is Nontuthuko Mashimane. I'm a girl from KZN. I live in Pietermaritzburg. My work involves being with people, healing people. I'm a nutritionist and I'm also an radiologist. Now, a lot of people don't know what that is. A radiologist is basically, if you just explain it in a very simple way, is that your iris is able to tell each and everything that's happening in your body, and you're able to find the causes of your issues. So we use the eye to actually examine and see what's going on in the body. So that is what the radiologist is in a very simple explanation. And with nutrition, a lot of people think if you're a nutritionist, you just deal with people who want to lose weight and that's it. And that is far from it, because probably 20% of people, of my clients or patients, are people who are in weight management programs. The majority of them are just people who are living with chronic diseases, people who we need to find a solution for them nutrition-wise to actually help them control or the disease that they have, whether it's diabetes or high blood pressure, HIV. Through nutrition, you can actually heal the body. So we look at the causes of the ailments or issues, and then through nature, through herbs, through food, we're able to find a solution. So a majority of people that I deal with are rather people who are not into or not really coming for weight management, but people who are sick, or people. I encourage also people to just come in and just be people who are looking at what can I do to actually maintain optimum health. So that is the most important part of my job. And my job is my passion, because my mom always tells me from a very young age, I've always had this characteristic of always wanting to help a person in a nurturing way or in a healing way. I'll be the first to try and find a solution for you if you have a headache, and I've always been interested in health. And also I grew up being influenced by my mom, who's a nurse, but at the same time, she's such a fit fanatic, health fundi. So also at home, that was just encouraging, I guess, or mentoring me or us as a family to be health conscious, to be active. So that is one of my passions, my work. I love people, Michelle. I'm actually a people's person. So working with people for me is something that I'm really passionate about. Anything with a human being, it touches me. And then my other passions are sports and being active. From a young age, I was very active at school with sports. And then I became a runner because my brother started running comrades, and I'll always be around runners and around that environment up until 2015, when I decided to run my first comrades. So I've been running long distance. I've been running marathons. also trail running, and that is my passion. That genre of sports. Running is. I've been so much involved in so much right now with regarding sports. So for me, aligning health or my work and with sports, it comes naturally because it's what I live. It's how I live my life. I don't have to, when I walk in at work and then put on my coat as I'm a nutritionist, and I live that life. Even my friends are like, gosh, Nontuthuko is just like a health freak, or she's always conscious of everything around health. Books that I buy are regarding health and nutrition, and so I found that, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to live my passion every day through my work. That's why I call it a gift. It's literally a gift. And then sports or being active, and then with travel, it becomes like a yummy sandwich when you put those together. Because with travel, you get to meet people, and now I've married travel with running, because before I started traveling when I was very young. As soon as I graduated, I went to the UK and spent a couple of years there. I wasn't a runner then, but then I traveled a lot. And then when I became a runner, I always made a conscious decision that where I'm going, I need to run. What is there that pertains running? So that's how I married the two, where if I decide, for example, to go to Brazil, I need to go around the time they have the Brazil Marathon. Because for me, it's getting it all in one. The passion for running, passion for travel, and so those are my three passions that I enjoy life to the full with, and meeting people at the same time. So yeah.
It's true, because you and I actually, I don't know if you remember, but I remember you and I met on a flight. We were
Yes.
seated the back airlink flight from Pietermaritzburg to Johannesburg. And we were seated in the same row. And I can't remember what started off our conversation, but you were flying to Johannesburg to attend
Yes.
a conference meeting.
Yes.
And you're a nutritionist, of course. Look, you and I got chatting, and I was just like, I love it. And I can start up a conversation anywhere. So it was wonderful to actually have and just meet you in that small brief time. We met strangers on that flight, and we walked out of that airport when we landed in Johannesburg as friends. And your number because you were sharing with me as well, running. I mean, I'm not much of a runner at all. I must probably prefer weights and skipping. Yeah.
That's good.
A really heavy chest. It would be easier if I first in line when they're handing out.
And I have none. So look at that.
Yeah. So I think if the running though, because it burns up.
It does, girl. They disappear.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand. I should be running, but it's a bit tough. We're totally digressing. So you started then in 2015, right? With your with running.
Yes.
And your time in the UK, take us back there. What was that like? I mean, what year did you leave South Africa, and how long do you stay in the UK?
Well, I remember I left 2004. And I had decided that I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world. The day my mom was moving to the UK, And I remember that one of the things that she promised us with my brothers that we will always be able to come and visit her during school holidays. So they was like, okay, that's a nice deal. That's fine. Uh, so I maximized on that. I made use of that to my very best ability. So every holidays, while I was at school and when I was at tertiary, I'll go and visit my mom during the holidays up until when I graduated. And I said, you know what, I need to go and just explore. And then during that time, my peers were, after graduating, finding a career and doing all the serious things. I know a few of my friends were
Buy,
getting married,
buy a
and
car, get a
yes,
home,
yes.
get married.
And I was having none of that. My first priority is that I wanted to explore the world. I mean, and get out of South Africa. And then I did just that. My mom said you need to go and get yourself work experience, because in the UK you need to get work experience. You need to, have experienced working so that when you come here you fit in. So I did just that. And then I left everything
Oh,
behind.
you get your work experience. Was it in the same industry as you
No,
currently?
no, it wasn't the same industry then. It was more of in business tech
Mm-hmm,
industry, more
mm-hmm,
commerce. So
mm-hmm,
when I left and I went to the UK, it was the one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life, because my life changed. The way I look at the world, the way I look at people, the way I relate to people, and the way I think. It's
mm-hmm,
it's it it's it has really changed. It's like a bigger classroom, or the most wonderful lecture room I've ever entered. um, Travel. So I
yeah.
traveled I went to the UK. I stayed there about 5 years. And during that time, that's when my mom and I started going around Europe,
Mm-hmm,
um, and 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 seeing all the different countries while we were in London. So being in London for me was like being in actually, you get the whole world there, because every single person from each corner of the world, you get them in London.
mm-hmm,
So I was able to interact with people from, whether from Asia to all the European countries, Americans, Australians,
mm-hmm,
so I was able to actually get a feel of people of the world just in London.
mm-hmm,
So that really was an eye opener. I enjoyed it so much. But then I wasn't a runner then. Um, so, but that experience did actually even bond my mom and I even closer. That's why we get along so well. We've done so much together. I
Ah,
think I came to the UK when I was a young adult, where
mm-hmm.
we can actually be friends now, more
Yes,
than her being a parent
right.
and being a child. You get to that point where now you are both on the same level because you are adults,
Mm-hmm.
and she can take you as such, and then she takes you, or you take her as your friend more. So it did cement my relationship with my mom. So it was such a wonderful experience. Hence, when I left going back to South Africa, because I wanted to come back and serve in South Africa. I love South Africa. I love the country. Comparing to where everywhere I've been, I still feel my heart was always home. But I promised myself that each and every year I will go out and see the world still. So hence,
Yes.
since then, I've been doing that, making sure that I try to actually go out in the bigger world and actually meet people and grow again, come back to South Africa and add value. Because I do feel that when you've grown and when you've put yourself out there and you go out and learn, you bring that back one way or the other. You
Yeah,
do bring it back.
absolutely bring it back. And I mean, something that you've said there, when you say you grow, a person might say then, how? A person who's never been will say, how? Tell me how you felt stretched. Are there any defining moments where you remember like an absolute shift taking place?
There's so many, but one that I always talk about is when my mom and I were in the UK, and it was during the times of the London bombings,
Yep.
and I was there, and it was when King's Cross station was bombed. That morning, we were supposed to go take the train there, and for some reason, I think they called her to go to work, so we ended up not going. And then I watched the news, and then there were bombings in King's Cross Pancras Station, and then I was like, okay, wow. And being a foreigner, mind you, one thing I learned is that when you're in South Africa, when you're home, you don't understand what it means to be a foreigner. You never put yourself in their shoes. But when you've left your country and you go to another country, that's when you understand you are a foreigner now. Um, Hence, you start to learn and understand that you need to treat people the way you want to be treated. So it opened my eyes with that foreigners, when they come to our country, treat them as such when you are in a foreign country. So during those times, Michelle, I that's when I realized that, you know, you can go anywhere in the world, and when you are not home, you're so vulnerable. I ended up carrying my passport with me everywhere that I went in case something happened, and they will be quick to find out who I am. And then that's when I learned that, you know what, life is so short. Life is not guaranteed. Anything is possible. And when you are out of your comfort zone, you learn to be a person who has gratitude every day, because you understand that you are not in your comfortable space. Each and every person around you need to respect. You need to show gratitude in the space that you're in. You need to be a person who can communicate with people. Sometimes it's not about language, it's about body language. It's about your facial expression. It's about your aura around the person or people or the environment. So for me, that has really made me grow to become more of a people's person, because I've been in the world where there were no South Africans around. You were the only one carrying a green passport. Um, when you want to express yourself in your home language, you can't. When people speak English, you still can't hear them because of the accent. Um, your food that you're used to is not there. Um, and you when you get on the train, on the tube, or on the bus, you need to be vigilant all the time, because you are in environment that you are not used to. It's not home, but you end up making it your home by opening up your heart and allowing yourself to actually reside in this place and make it home. So for me, it made me grow that each and every place that I go to, each person that I meet, um, that person, I make myself comfortable, make them comfortable, because right now it's you and me. Let's connect. And hence, I think that's what happened on the plane the other day, where it's not about, oh, who is she and where's she from, and I won't get anything from you. I don't know you, and I'll keep to myself. Um, it opens you up to actually a person next to you. Use that time to get to know that person, because you never know in life. You never know the future. You never know that you're going to be sitting in front of Michelle today doing an interview, and being your friend, and just from being open
Yes.
on a flight going to Joburg. So that's one thing I've learned, and it's something that you couldn't learn in the classroom, and you don't
No.
learn it at home. You learn it when you're out there.
You'll only learn it out there. That is so true.